all the tips and tricks you need to know to achieve that most beautiful and flawless makeup application all on your own. This comes from years as experience as a professional makeup artist, doing makeup on myself, my clients, testing out every single beauty product, testing out every single beauty hack, every beauty theory that there is on the market. These tips really work and will elevate your makeup even more. So let's jump straight into the video. The first thing that you need to do is you need to have a good skin prep before makeup application. Your skin prep is your foundation for your foundation. That is the most important step. You need to hydrate your skin, but you don't want to overhydrate your skin, and you need to avoid certain types of products. Stay tuned. I will make a separate video on that. I will give you an in-depth tutorial on what a good skincare is before makeup application. So it won't peel, it won't separate, and your makeup will stay on all day long. Next is using a setting spray that melts the makeup, and you want to use this before, during, and after your makeup application. I've already done my skincare, so I'm gonna go in before makeup application with the Makeup by Mario setting spray. So now we're gonna go in with makeup, and if you have high pigmentation, just like myself, then you wanna neutralize the high pigmentation first, meaning color correcting. And I always use the Huda Beauty in the shade Mango. It's very important that you use a color correcting shade according to your dark circles. Even if you have the most lightest skin ever, but your dark circles are maybe like the same as mine, you need to have the same shade. That is important. People always mistake that the color corrector has to be the same shade as your exact skin tone. No, you need to choose a color corrector according to your dark circles. That's how you neutralize the hypigmentation. And you want to apply the color corrector on where your darkness is. My hypigmentation is always around my mouth, and I do have dark circles. And I also have colored eyelids. A common mistake people make is also going in with too much corrector. You don't need a lot. You only need a little bit, so you have an orange shadow. You see already there's a huge difference, but you see a little bit of an orangey shadow. That's what you need. You don't want to have an orange spot. And set the color corrector with a little bit of a translucent powder. This is optional. I don't always do this just because I have extremely dry skin, but if you hydrate your skin well enough, you can do this step, and it will make sure that your color corrector doesn't move. And I mean, really, it doesn't move. So I really love that. I have just a tiny bit of powder here, tapping off the excess, and I'm evening it out on my hand, and then I am gently pressing it into the skin. There's barely any powder left just because I have extremely dry skin, so I don't want to add too much powder. This is the Makeup Forever in the shade Tan Golden, by the way. This powder is so pretty. It doesn't have any flashback. I have tested that theory out. It doesn't have any flashback. Now we're gonna go in with foundation, and I'm using the Sephora Best Skin Ever. This is a glow foundation. I have extremely dry skin, so I really want to have the most flawless foundation. Always apply your foundation on the back of your hand first, so you can warm it up just slightly, and then dab it onto your face so you have an even makeup application. With pressing motions, tap the foundation in. When choosing your foundation, don't go lighter or darker. Try to choose your exact same skin tone, because your concealer, your powder, that will already create so much brightness right here. You don't need brightness right here. We need to have that contrast. We need to have dimension in our face, because our natural face already have like different kind of colors. So we need to bring back the colors. And also, if you're applying your foundation, don't apply your foundation underneath your eyes. Leave that for your color corrector, your concealer, and your powder. That is enough to neutralize your dark circles. Otherwise, it will look cakey at the end, and you don't want that. I have this much left. I'm just gonna wipe it off. But you don't want to apply too much foundation. Only apply what you need. Now concealer. This is the Best Skin Ever from the Sephora collection in the shade 15N. This is a high-end concealer in my opinion. Apply your concealer where you want it, and I don't use the triangle and then this, but apply your concealer where you want it. I am using the old method, that just straight underneath, here. I also want to conceal the eyelid for eyeshadow later on. Let your concealer chill for a little bit, and in the meantime, do your eyebrows. This way, your concealer will have the time to become tacky, to become more full coverage. If you want to achieve that soft eyebrow look, then brush your eyebrows out after you have filled them in. That's how you create that soft effect. To blend out the concealer, go in with a dry beauty blender. I don't ever wet my beauty blender anymore, just because it gives the most beautiful and most natural finish to the eye. Of course, the beauty blender will absorb more product, but it will absorb excess product. Because we have let the concealer chill for a second, it's already become tacky and full coverage. So the product that the sponge will absorb isn't all that much. You are blending out your concealer on your T-zone. Carve out your eyebrows. like this. Just go over. I don't want to go over with concealer just like this is very stark, but just go over like this, so it will create an even more flawless and more natural finish. This is how your base should look, and it looks seamlessly blended out. We are going to go in with the Makeup by Mario setting spray to give it a good spritz. To create a good eyeshadow base, set the concealer with a translucent powder. Make sure you don't have any creases, otherwise just smooth it out. And then just tap the powder into your skin. This will create a good eyeshadow base, so the eyeshadow won't move. The eyelids are already prepped for eyeshadow, but we're gonna keep it simple today. I'm just gonna go in with a bronzer, which from the Fenty Beauty in the shade Mocha Mami. This is number 8, and this is a very warm toned bronzer, and it looks beautiful on the eyelid. I'm really packing this all over the lid, and because we have neutralized and corrected the eyelid, then the eyeshadow that we put on, or the bronzer, whatever, just shimmers, it will pop even more. You want to create more dimension, more contrast to your eyes, and grab a smaller brush. I'm using the Sephora number 15. This is one of my favorites, and I'm taking the same bronzer color, grabbing a little bit on the brush, tap off the excess, and then I'm just putting it underneath the lid. Trust me when I say this will create so much more contrast, more dimension, and it just makes a huge difference. Now for eyeliner, I'm using the Sephora 12-hour waterproof dip eyeliner. Apply your eyeliner how you want it to be. I personally like my eyeliner to be a little bit lifted, so my eyes have a little bit more of an open look and a slightly cat eye look. Curl your lashes. It will open up your eyes immediately. Go in with mascara and apply it to your top and bottom lashes. Trust me on this. Now we're going to go in with a second layer of concealer, but we're going to focus it to clean up the under eyes to make a flawless and most cleanest under eye ever. So we're going to focus on the inner corner, more here and here. And you can just blend it out straight away. And use pressing motions. Don't ever swipe. Your under eyes are very, very thin, so you don't ever want to swipe and create more wrinkles. Now a blush placement. You want to place your blush as a lifting effect. So we're gonna place the blush right underneath the eye, so it creates a more lifted effect. And the contour or bronzer, whatever one you want to use, we're gonna place it right underneath, like at the end or the beginning of your ear. Contour right here, and where you want to stop is right at the end of your eye. It's very important that when you are blending it out, blend it upwards. Don't ever go downwards, because you want to keep this area clean. If you want to contour your forehead, you can do that. Then just go a little bit like this and blend your contour upwards. Go into your hairline. For blush, we're gonna place it right above the contour, and I'm taking the same brush. And you see that I am pretty close to the eye area, which is where we want, because we want to have that lifted effect. And then what's left of the product, take it into your temples. Now to mirror everything together, we're gonna go in with a powder. Make sure you don't have any creases underneath the eyes, otherwise just smooth it out. Take a powder puff, a soft one, and then tap it into the cap. Don't go straight in, always tap off the excess. Look up and then gently press it underneath the eye. Again, don't swipe, press. Maybe you don't see it on camera, but in real life, you see a tiny bit, like the slightest tiny bit of hyperpigmentation peeking through. So I am taking a darker concealer. This is the Maybelline Eraser in the shade 11. And I'm just adding a little bit around my mouth to completely vanish the hyperpigmentation. Have smile lines, then pay attention. This is what you need to do. You're gonna take your powder, put it a little bit onto the powder puff, tap off the excess, and then set your smile lines. Make sure you don't have any creases, no foundation or concealer is piling up. Everything is looking very smooth. Then set it with powder on top and just go over like this. Okay, just add a little bit of contour on my nose to add that sculpted look, just slightly. For lips, I'm going in with the lip liner from Makeup Forever in the shade Limitless Brown. And I'm gonna go in with the lip gloss from NARS in the shade Aragon. Carve out your lips with your foundation or your concealer that is your exact same skin tone or one shade darker. And then gently press it around. Now to finish everything off, you want to set and melt everything together one last time. So I'm gonna go in with the Makeup by Mario setting spray. I want to go in with a setting spray that locks everything in and makes it last all night long. And you can go in with the Infallible. This is very good and very affordable. But if you want the best of the best, then you can go in with the one size setting spray. I'm not going to use this today just because I am out. I need to buy a new bottle. So I'm gonna use the Infallible. Always shake up the product to ensure that your smile lines won't appear. Set your makeup how you want it to set all night long. So don't smile when you spray your face with the locking setting spray. The official name is fixing spray. This is a setting spray that is meant to melt the makeup, and this is a fixing spray that is meant to fix and set and lock your makeup. These were all my tips and tricks, and it's also very important to know that you need to use good quality products. That doesn't mean high-end, it means good quality. In this video, I used the Sephora foundation and concealer, so you can see that you don't need to use high-end products to have the most flawless makeup base. You just need to have the right application and good quality. I really hope you like this video. If you do, then please don't forget to give it a thumbs up and comment down below what you want to see next.